I'm not sure why, but I feel compelled to turn this packaging from the Aquarius watercolor set into either a journaling tag or a journaling card. So I'm going to pull out some of these scraps and, see what I can do so that I can have a little something to remind me of that moment in my own junk journal. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. And I'm your host, Fam the Fabulous. For more ideas, inspiration, swaps, and challenges, click the link in the description below to join our craft community, the Maker Exchange, on Facebook. All right, so one of the papers that I pulled out was this. This came from a 6x6 paper pad, a very inexpensive one from maybe 5 or 6 years ago. But it is the last of the paper pad. Maybe there's 1 or 2 sheets left, but I have used it. I loved it. It was when I was early on in my paper crafting journey. So, I wasn't overly particular about anything and didn't treat things so precious. Nevertheless, this is the last of them, and I thought it would be a great compliment to this side of whatever it is that I plan on making. I believe I want to make a journaling tag. So I think I'm going to cut off, just in the interest of keeping it at a decent size, as well as the folds, getting rid of some of the folds because I'm not going to be able to do anything about the center of it. I'm also going to use, don't mind my nails, they need to be done. I'll do them over the weekend. Now, I'm going to use the scrapbook paper. I just love that bright yellow with that plum purple color with the little birds. I absolutely love it. So I'm glad that I still have it. Um, but I'm going to use that on the opposite side. But what I want to do to kind of take away from the text on the packaging, if you will, um, I want to just use some washi tape. And one of the reasons why I want to use washi tape is because it'll stick for a while. That's all I need it for. Whereas glue on that shiny, slick surface, it's not ideal. And furthermore, I plan on using the sewing machine because I'm making this for me and I can be as extreme and extra as necessary. Although I'm not going to be. I'm just telling you now, it's late at night when I'm making this tag, so I'm not going to go overboard. But getting back to, yes, I'm using the washi tape on the slick side to cover up some of that print. Um, and that just needs to hold for a little while. Now, I also have this one piece of lace trim. It was in a bag that was, you guys hear me snickering in the background. I'll show you why in just a little bit. You'll hear me giggling in a minute again. There we go. But you'll see why. I'm watching YouTube as I create this. So this voiceover is not actually being done with the video. It's obviously done after the fact. But nevertheless, this lace trim is from um, Diana Schwartz. She's one of the members of our Maker Exchange group. She, as far as I know, no, she doesn't repurpose. She um, fixes and troubleshoots the vintage Singer sewing machines. She may do it for other sewing machines, but anyways, she's like that woman who can do anything. Because as far as I know, in terms of creativity, I haven't heard her tell me of anything that she can't do. So, Diana, if you're still watching, honey, shout out to you. I'm still holding strong with some last minute remnants out of that bag. I still have a little bit left. And as you can see, I'm holding on for dear life, but I got to use it. And I'm going to use it for myself this time. So I'm using this last little piece of this lace trim to edge off this card. It'll go at the bottom of it. and I think it'll be sewn in place. Now I'm just using to adhere it to the back. I'm just using Eileen's tacky glue. It's in this bottle. Now what I typically do is I'll fill it up halfway, right? Then I'll add maybe a fourth of water just to see how thick I want it. If that's too thick, then I'll add a little bit more water and I'll keep going until it's the consistency that I want it. I have a second bottle that I usually use that's thinner for when I'm doing larger projects that requires more area to be glued, but I need a thinner glue. In this case, I want, if you're using it with fabric, obviously you kind of want to make sure it stays put pri- that it dries in place prior to going under the sewing machine. And I'm also going to um, place the paper on top of it so the lace is actually being sandwiched in. I know I'm talking a lot, but yeah, I ain't here for um, a library visit. You're here to hear the chit chat, and so I'm giving you all of that. I'm here to give you all of the chit chat, girls and guys. Anyways, okay, so what I won't do is continue meandering throughout the rest of this video when there's nothing for me to talk about that's anything new or interesting. I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to speed it up and I'll see you guys in just a sec. All right, so you guys want to see what I was giggling about earlier? If you look at the screen real quick, you will see our good friend uh, Tracy and Bill of Mindless Crafting. I mean, you don't see him on the screen, but it's a Mindless Crafting at Midnight um, night, and I was just blessed to join them in their Mindless Crafting family. And oh, it was a good time. I do recommend that if you are not familiar with Mindless Crafting, you've heard of them before. If you are familiar with this, if you've been on this channel, then you've heard me speak about them before. But if you're not familiar with Mindless Crafting, they are a wonderful husband and wife duo. Um, they have an online store packed with all type of creative goodies, from card making and journal making and scrapbooking, so on and so forth, the whole paper crafting bonanza. So I will drop a link down below so that you can head over and support their channel as well. Now, that being said, I am going to get back to speeding this up a little bit so you guys can not have to hear my voice, unless, of course, you want to hear it. If you want to hear more of the non specific randomness come out of my mouth over these videos in the form of a voiceover, um, put a microphone down in the comment section. If I don't see any, I'm gonna go ahead and believe with the under the belief that you guys are perfectly fine with me speeding the thing up and letting you hear some good lo-fi music. Okay, now I'm gonna move on out of the way and let the creativity lead the way. All right. Now, I've struggled a little bit with that lace doily that I am going to use. It's in the shape of a heart. It's coffee dye. it's somewhere in the midst of all of this, I felt a need to pull out some clusters. I don't know why. This is typical. This is typical of what I do. I just figured, let me go ahead and drop this in here so y'all can see how many rabbit holes I dive down into in the midst of creating something. And it doesn't matter that the camera is on, that I'm eating up my phone battery, that I'm eating up not just my time, but yours as well. But I figured you need to experience a taste of what I do, which makes absolutely no sense. Am I here to, you know, put together this cluster? No, I'm actually here to create a journal card. That's what you guys came here for. But that is not going to stop me from um, getting sidetracked and distracted with something that I have no intentions of using anytime soon, which is this cluster. But I digress. This is what I do. Okay, I just want you guys to know. And now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can continue on with the rest of the show and the distractions. One of the things I like about junk journals and art journals is that it really is an expression of your style, your taste, things that you like, things that are near and dear to you. Um, and it doesn't have to have a whole lot of rhyme or reason. You can do things in an aesthetically pleasing way, or you can do them haphazardly. Um, you can do things really color coded and themed, or you can be random or at grunge, clean, simple. It really is all about taste. And the wonderful thing about it is you can share it, in terms of social media, or you can keep it hidden, tucked away. And so that is one of the things that I actually like about junk journaling, is that it really can be an eclectic place for your taste, your style. And let's be clear, we don't always like the same thing year after year. We may have an overall um, personal style, but how I decorate my house isn't necessarily this way I decorate my body. It's not a reflection of the type of jewelry that I wear, so my junk journal is kind of the same way. Every page is not going to be a feng shui, if that's my home aesthetic. It's not going to be classics, if that's my personal clothing style. And it may not be gaudy on every page if that's how the type of jewelry that I like to wear. And trust me, I have a couple pieces that you're like, girl, put that out, put it away. It's too much. But there's times where gaudy is necessary. So in my junk journal, there's a couple of gaudy pages as well as in my art journal. I'm just pulling out here. Yeah, the randomness is crazy. Anyways, I'm pulling out again. I've got the Mindless Crafting, one of their very first stamp sets I purchased a few years back when they first opened up. And it's been a joy to watch them grow now, because the packaging for the watercolor symbolizes me starting something that I was intimidated by. It's going to require me to be fearless, to accept that I'm not perfect and I'm not going to be able to master this thing overnight. And it doesn't matter how intentional I am. There is a learning curve, and I've got a lot to learn. So I have got to, just open my mind and be okay with this not coming together as quickly as things typically do in my world. I'm not saying that, everything happens overnight, but what I'm saying is I'm used to seeing the fruits of my labor, and I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to learning about watercolor, but I'm okay with the slow progress. And so again, the packaging is a reminder of me embarking on something new, me casting fears aside and trusting that the process will bring me exactly where I need to be when I need to be there. And I just need to stay focused and dedicated. And I hope that if there is something that you are perhaps apprehensive about starting. Maybe you're questioning a new career or going back to school or maybe dating that guy or gal, or whatever the case might be, maybe downsizing. Maybe you're a little apprehensive about it. You know, life is so short, and we can spend our lives wondering how things could have been, what we would have been had we done that thing, um, whether or not we would have been happy, or we can just try it and see and be okay with wherever the chips fall, right? We only have one life. So this I chose the stamp, spread your wings, obviously, because I'm just chartering new territory, and it's going to require me to um, take a leap of faith and let the wind and God carry me on through. And the watercolor, learning watercolor is just one of the things that I'm learning in this season of my life. So, that said, I've given you guys enough inspiration for now. I'm going to let the music take you away while I put on the finishing touches here. Okay, so I have gone ahead and put some stitching around the edge, and I'm going to go ahead and put the grommet in, the eyelet, if you will, and the um, where is it? Okay, yep, the ribbon. There we go. And then we shall do some last minute embellishing to it. Okay, I'd like to interrupt this regularly scheduled program just to bring you some alternative options for your own junk journal. Listen, I have been crafting and creating for over a decade, so I have a plethora of supplies. But when I first got started, I didn't have all of these things. I didn't have the stickers and the stamps and the paper pads and all of the things. If you are a new creative, if you're a new crafter or journal maker, junk journaler, or whatever have you, and you may not have all these supplies. You see here, I am looking through these stickers. You have books, you have magazines, there's newspapers, and all of these different print materials that we come across every day. These are the things that, as you're starting out, you'll collect and you will um, put off to the side to use in future projects. Maybe you don't have scrapbook paper, but you likely have crayons, markers, um, forks and different utensils around your house that you can make different imprints and impressions on paper using a different ink. So it's just a matter of being creative, looking at that marker, looking at water, looking at different materials, a plastic bag that will create a different texture on paper that will allow you to create your own pattern paper. So don't feel as though you have to have everything you see in these videos, because you don't. And a lot of times I don't even use what I have, because a part of the joy in creating is being innovative. That is one of the hallmarks of a creative, using the everyday items in a different way to bring forth different results. And so these are the things that you have around your home. You don't have to go out and start collecting supplies in order to be a junk journaler, in order to be a card maker, in order for you to be a creative. Use what you have. You are innovative enough. You are smart enough. If you're watching this channel, you're definitely of the smart ones, all right? Because you found me. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled program. All right, so I have embellished this tag with just a few things. I've used the vintage lace trim, the vintage lace doily. I've added a little bit of zigzag stitching around the edge along with a single stitch, and topped it off with an eyelet and the ribbon. I've added a stamped sentiment and a few little butterflies. And last but not least, the pearl trim, the flat back pearls. And it all just kind of culminates the old with the new, starting something new, but something that is a classic, right? And I consider pearls to be a classic. So I truly enjoyed creating this tag. This is something that I made for me. This isn't something that's, going to go into somebody else's journal. It is really just something to symbolize where I am in my creative journey. All in all, I had a good time, and I hope that you did as well. Now, while I created a tag using an item that I wanted to kind of hold in my memory, as a keepsake in my journal, there's a variety of different ways you can use your memorabilia or items from places you've visited. You can use them as bookmarks, tags, or journaling cards. You can create a pocket out of it. It can be a main focal point for your page. It can even be a flip out. There's a number of different things that you can do to add memorable ephemera to your journal to create a long-lasting memory. I'd like to give a shout out to my returning subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your comments, likes, your feedback, for sharing me in your creative spaces. And I truly appreciate the love and support you guys show this channel. And for those who are new to the channel, if you have not already hit the subscribe button, now's a great time. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you won't miss any of the upcoming videos featuring things just like this. Now, with that being said, until we are back here together on Patreon and YouTube, my friends, stay encouraged, stay blessed, stay creative and crafting. Bye for now.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe to join the crafty community and be sure to click the bell for notifications of new uploads. Thank you so much for watching. Now stay tuned for more from Livie's Lovelies, your inspirational craft channel. Bye for now.